In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions. Thus, the anti-abortion laws of 46 states were rendered unconstitutional.
Roe v. Wade brought about the largest genocide in American history. Since 1973, over 60 million babies have been aborted. The pro-life movement knew if we were going to succeed in reversing this unjust ruling, we had to prove to the world the humanity of the unborn child. If there was a window to the womb, we would not be having this debate about elective abortion. The Supreme Court justices in Roe admitted this themselves.
If it were established that an unborn fetus is a person within the protection of the 14th Amendment, you would have almost an impossible case here, would you not?
I would have a very difficult case.
Certainly would.
In 1973, sonograms weren't widely used. We couldn't hear the baby's heartbeat as easily as we do now, and we definitely didn't know all that we do about the miracle of life before birth. With all this new information, we needed a vehicle to overturn Roe and re-establish the state's right to protect preborn children. We needed laws that would force the court to reject the foundation of Roe v. Wade, make the culture talk about the humanity of the preborn child, all the while saving lives immediately. And in 1999, Texas took its first step in this uphill battle, banning abortions in the third trimester. But at the same time, a new threat to human life emerged, one that continues today: euthanasia and the need to protect patients' rights. The Texas Advanced Directives Act, or the 10-day rule, allows hospitals to override patients' life and death decisions. We started fighting a war on two fronts, and activists on both sides of the aisle attempted to sabotage us at every step. But year after year, we saved more lives and gained more ground towards our ultimate goal. So, are we finally at a tipping point? The Supreme Court was forced to examine Roe v. Wade because of our movement's prudent strategy. Now that the Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade, states once again have the authority to protect preborn children at all stages. And Texas has laws now that ban all elective abortions, and thus begins a new chapter in the pro-life movement. Our work is not over after Roe v. Wade. First, we have to enforce our laws and ensure that Texas is truly abortion-free. What happens when lawless Democrat district attorneys refuse to prosecute abortionists? This is a new opportunity for Texas to once again get creative on how we will stop abortions. Even in the reddest of red states like Texas, there will be abortionists in these blue cities like Austin, Houston, Dallas. And district attorneys in these areas have already promised to give criminals a free pass to continue killing preborn children even if Roe is overturned. Now, there are a lot of possible policy responses to this. But luckily, we already have one solution in the Texas Heartbeat Act. This has proven to be effective, and it's expanding private citizens' authority to hold abortionists accountable. Abortionists stopped in their tracks when Texas authorized private citizens to sue them if they kill a preborn child with a beating heart. The abortion industry was so scared of this policy that they stopped committing abortions after 6 weeks altogether. The pro-life movement will need this tool to work around these prosecutors who are bought and paid for by Planned Parenthood. So, we need to make Texas abortion-free, but we also need to build a pro-life state. How can we respond to women in our communities who find themselves in difficult or unexpected pregnancies? We can expand life-affirming resources for them. We must protect and increase the funding to the Life-Saving Alternatives to Abortion program, a statewide network of pregnancy centers, adoption agencies, maternity homes, and more. We can ensure that women have medical coverage for up to a year after giving birth. We can incentivize our colleges to remove barriers for pregnant students and ensure that they don't have to give up on their educational goals. Republicans must double down on our efforts to reform the adoption and foster care systems so that every child has a safe and loving home. Now, to be honest, there's a lot that we can do to build a pro-life Texas, but this is where we should start. And lastly, there's a whole different area where human life is being threatened: in Texas hospitals. One example is the deadly 10-day rule. Through this policy, hospital ethics committees make life and death decisions even if the patient disagrees with it. Families are forced to race against the clock to find a transfer facility for their loved one when the hospital wants to remove that treatment. And if the family fails to find a transfer facility within the 10 days, then the hospital can legally remove all life-sustaining treatment. This tool allows hospitals to use their anti-life ethics to end the life of Texans. If we eliminate the countdown, patients and hospitals are incentivized to work together. It's true that the pro-life movement is at a historical moment right now, and you, the grassroots, will be more important than ever as we build a pro-life Texas in our homes, in our communities, and in our entire country. Thank you for standing for life to get us this far. My question for you is, are you committed to continuing this critical fight? To get notified on how you can help, text PROLIFE to 40237.